Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. For today's valued viewer request, we've got new from Groucho 14E. We've sent this to our local F-14 expert and we've spoken to him. And the question, a DCS question, do these early F-14 tactics work in-game in DCS, F-14 versus F-5, F-14 versus A4, guns and rear aspect IR only? If they work against those threats, do they fall short against more modern aircraft and weapons, and why? We have a link here and we've got some timestamps, so let's go and have a look. First of all, F-14 versus an F-5 aggressor.
Starts to make the attack on you, the first thing you have to do is negate it. And the best way to do that is to break into him. You've got G available, so start your break. Okay, now we want to go from this defensive position into a neutral and an offensive position. The way we can do this with the F-14 is we can pick its nose up. So we're sitting there, as we start to have the overshoot and going in here, we'll flop the wings level and we'll take the airplane up into the vertical.
The NFO instructor, who is riding in the back seat of the F-14 during this simulated air battle, is a busy guy. He conducts some of the briefings, sets up the rules of engagement, and later he'll help in the debriefing. Knowing the F-14 and the T-38 like the back of his hand, he'll recognize immediately when the trainee should make his move, when he should get out of the way. And if he hesitates for even a second, he'll know that too.
At that point, I'll be calling for you to level your wings to get them level prior to pulling the aircraft up into vertical. You want to make sure you get in pure vertical. If necessary, look inside. At that point, I will be having my eyes on the T-38 during the whole maneuver, so you don't need to worry too much about keeping sight of them.
Is there any chance the T-38 can out-zoom me up there and get me back?
No way. As long as you get your burners let in here and get your nose into the vertical, the T-38 just can't climb up with you. The more he tries to come up with you, the more he's going to load that wing up. And as you can see, that wing is much less than yours, so he's going to lose a lot more energy. Therefore, he isn't going to be able to sustain up into the zone.
Okay, is there any way he can really counter that, or is he just going to end up in the same place every time?
No. The less that he counters, or the more dynamic that he counters, not coming up with you, the faster you're going to go after his wing line, the faster you're going to be able to place your nose behind him, and the faster you're going to be able to employ your weapon system. You have gone from the complete defensive to an offensive position. And that's what we're trying to look for.
So we have an F-5 or T-38, pretty much the same thing, aggressor. He's chasing us, and in this case we're going to brake to, if you like, spoil his shot and slow him down, left or right, about 45 degrees-ish, then wings level, then basically straight up. And the reason is that we're just kinematically superior. Now, the Tomcat is pretty much the original power fighter, right? It's the first thing that I can think of, at least, that really have the big power to weight ratio that could do these big climbs. And the diddy little, I mean, this is kind of Boydism. This is about knowing your enemy, knowing his weaknesses, and knowing what, looking at what he can do and adapting as necessary. And the T-38 as an aggressor simply can't climb in terms of power to weight ratio and wing and whatnot. And he's going to fail because he can't keep with you. And you're going to gain the advantage and essentially come over the top because of your superior power to weight and wing, and that's how you're going to beat him. So we're going to try that. Before we do that, let's go and have a look at the second.
Low wing loaded fighter. In this engagement, the tactics instructor will also double as pilot for the A4. Again, the F-14 is on the defensive, the A4 rolling from a high perch into a good gun position.
Once I start to make my attack, you're going to have to counter that. And the way you do that is you start your nose up. Get yourself going right up into the vertical, making sure you get your afterburners lit, and start going up. Lyle's going to coach you into where I am. Once you're up in here, start to do your displacement roll towards my 6 o'clock. You're going to be sitting in there in a position like this. So then what I'll have to do is I'll have to counter that. Making sure you get your burners out right up in here. Now, once you have those out, start your attack. Try to make a kill on me. Once that I'm sitting there, I'll have to counter that. I'll have to bring the nose up, get up in there. Once you see that you can't make the attack, bring yourself right up into the vertical again, and then this is where you're going to really make your money. You're going to be back up over top of me. I will be out of energy. I'll have to bring my nose down. So you'll be coming over the top. You'll have a good position to start making the kill.
pretty much the same thing. You've got a superior kinematic fighter, so you're going to be and wing, and so you're going to be using the vertical again. Basically the same thing, but this time it goes a little further and shows how we could use it in, you know, climb twice, acquire the guy's 6 by doing that. I've got a bog standard F-14B, no stores and half fuel. RC's got an aggressor F5 T-38. And he has no stores. I meant to give you sidewinders actually, but we'll try that again in a minute. And half fuel. He is exactly 1 mile behind. I'm going to let you close up in a typical aggressive stance. You're going to come in to simulate guns, no actual firing for the first test. I'm going to show going over the top. You try and stick with me, RC. Going over the top and just see what happens. Just imagine it's kind of a real dogfight. You're going to have a kinematic advantage because you'll be at a higher speed, closing velocity.
You can see.
I can see now. Yeah, I can see you. Okay, I'm going to see the threat. I'm going to power on. And turn the 45. Visualize. Level wings. And up. Oops, a bit of overshoot there. And you're going to come into the vertical with me. And I'm going to ease over the top when I think I'm beating you. Did you ever get a solution?
I probably had one early on.
Yeah, you did a lot better than I thought you were going to do that. You stay with me. I'm going to pause that there. So what he's making out in the video is that the T-38 just cannot keep with him. But you were pretty much keeping with me there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Let's reverse roles. I'll be the F5 aggressor. I'll tell you when to make the move. 2, 1, go. You're on. I'm going into burnout. So I've dumped a bunch of energy in that turn. You've gone wings level and you've gone up. Burner's on for me and you. I'm going to try and follow you up. Yeah, I don't have a solution on you. Well, not really. And I can see you are accelerating me. But you have no way gained a lead in any way. You know what? It ended exactly the same as what you did with me. I've still got the solution on you. We're going to try again. This time the aggressor is not going to have an energy advantage. We're both going to be cruising at 330 knots. And we're going to activate at the same time just to really do a proper kinematic test in this case. Okay, you ready, RC? 2, 1, throttle forward.
Bam. Right there. I would have had you.
Finally starting to leave you behind. It took a while though, didn't it? Okay, let's try that.
I would have had you.
Let's try that again, and I'm going to be a bit more aggressive this time. 2, 1, go.
Okay, there's dirt at 8 o'clock.
That was better.
Yeah, because I was doing it more aggressively now. Okay, so
I can stay with you, but I didn't have a shot.
Yeah, you didn't have a shot, and now I'm just going to use the pure brute force. Yeah, it does kind of work as long as you're quick and aggressive with it. And I can just keep that right up. Now you're going to have a missile shot after a while, but assuming guns only.
Yeah, I would have had a missile shot. And these ones, possible.
Yeah, I'm still just not comfortable doing it at all. Did you fall out of the sky there? Or
yeah.
Right, so, okay, that worked pretty well then. So what I did that time around is I had aggressor who had no delta energy. We were both going essentially in formation. We started at the same time. I did an aggressive left turn. I did an aggressive pull-up so that he couldn't get a solution on me. Or if he did, it would have been a real tight snap at best. And then I went up into the vertical. He had, I think, a few seconds maybe of a shot in the vertical. But after that, I was just out climbing him and pretty much speeding up, and whereas his obviously his energy is so low, his power so low, sorry, that he's just going to fall out of the sky. So that is a possible move. Just try it from the other side again.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was never really getting a gun solution on you there. And you can just keep going up.
Yeah.
Problem is, after a while, I reckon I could easily get a missile solution at some point before I stall.
Oh yeah.
And bang.
That would have had you with a missile.
Yeah, so I wouldn't get guns killed, but we think a missile solution would be possible. I guess we're assuming guns only. He didn't talk about missiles, did he? Okay, I'm going to pause it there. I mean, it's not as clear-cut, really not as clear-cut as we thought. I still don't like the idea. I'd still rather go into a turn fight rather than going up like that. It just makes you so exposed when you go up, even to a low-power fighter like this. I still can get that snap. I still can get a missile. So I still don't think it's a very good idea. Your thoughts on that, RC?
I agree with it. I mean, it's going up, dangerous move.
This fighter here peaks at 14.5 degrees per second optimal condition. His is like 23 degrees per second optimal condition with all the flaps set and stuff. So what you really want to do, as far as I can see, is just drag him into a turn fight at 350 knots, 300 knots, wherever your band is. I just don't see the point of what they're trying to do. So we're now trying it basically the same thing pretty much with an A4. He's going to be AI instead of human, but otherwise, and this isn't the best model plane in the world, but you know, it's going to be near enough. So let's see what happens. Hopefully he doesn't shoot me too soon. Okay, I think that will simulate him coming down off the perch, which is 400 knots. So he's got delta, probably 70 knots on me, which is a massive amount. Burners on. Dump his energy.
Lights on.
Get off his port.
6 o'clock. 1 mile.
How much tighter I can turn that in. Wings level. Now we've dumped some energy. We're going straight up with the power of the Tomcat. Oh yeah, look at that. No chance in hell. So he's even worse. He's loaded up even worse than the F5. Look. Again, at some point, he will get his nose on me. So, no gun skill. That's not a gun skill. But again, he could get a snap a Sidewinder off. We think that in the Top Gun training, then maybe it was guns only. But still, you can see 200 knots. He's got maneuverability still. He could snap a Sidewinder off at me. Keep bringing him up. He's going to stall. He stalled. You'd think he would. 90 knots. He's not going anywhere, so I'm going to come over the top now. Yeah, it's stalled. I'm going to go over the top. I'm flying this from outside, so it might be a little bit difficult. But
8 o'clock low.
where is he? I'm going to get myself on a spin if I'm not careful. Okay, got that under control.
3 o'clock low.
He's probably still stalling. I'm under control. And I'm going to come back down on his backside. Where is he? There he is. There he is. Yeah, I'll come down on his backside, look.
9 o'clock.
No way is that a rate fighter, so he's going to run out of energy eventually, and that will be my dogfight win. So let's have a look at that. The A4 was a bit more conclusive, simply because the A4 is just not as kinematically good as the F5. However, even the A4 would still get a Sidewinder shot off. I'm absolutely sure of it. Even an old rear aspect Sidewinder, P or whatever. So the summary of that with the old planes is, yes, it works as long as you've got guns, and even if they've got an energy advantage with guns, just about it works. The next part of the question was, would that work with modern fighters? No, absolutely not. The whole idea of this is that I can, while going up, due to the fact of my wing and my power to weight ratio, lose my airspeed much slower than the other guy. But watch what happens if I now turn him into an F-16, even worse, an F-15. Okay, this isn't going to start very well. We've got the same energy, but he's obviously gunning me. But I should have made myself invincible, so I should have. Never mind. Let's try it anyway. Pause. Yeah, look at that. I dodged him. Oops. Getting nice and slow where an F-15 doesn't want to be. Up we go.
Here we go.
And watch the difference now.
Eagle.
He's going to come right after me. Chase me down. And there's nothing I can do. He's doing it very slow and very modestly, but he's doing it. Wow, this thing can climb well. He's coming. He's coming. He's getting closer. Pow, that's a gun skill from him. He's got better climb rate than me. He's got better power to weight ratio than me. In a climb, he's just better than me. Doesn't have quite as good a wing as me, but good enough. So no, it does not work against a modern fighter, and to be honest, I wouldn't suggest it in anything where you could be fired at anything other than guns. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you later.